So it goes like that. Always good. All right. Let's put you away. Okay. So I need all my bits and pieces. Oh, it's a good job we've got a good hoover now. We're hoovering up under that table when we're done. Okay, so this is why I think I was watching something about content today, and actually how you just have to show up and be a bit terrible the first few times. I think I'm building those hours, building that understanding. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look at this delightful boot. So we have got a Riedell custom boot, which looks like this. Oh, yes. Look at this. Look at that. Cork sole. Nice bit of suede. Okay, let me grab my tape and a pen. Will do. So the first thing that I am going to do is assume that these are being quality inspected by Riedell. Well, I know they have. They've been signed off as a custom boot. The 3200 is always a colour lab. It's made to order, even if people order them in black. The first thing I'm going to do is, because the sole is leather and it's very, very easy to mark, I'm actually going to put a little bit of tape on it. First time I ever did my my own build, I didn't do this. I just drew on the sole and then got the plate position in the wrong place and realised that I needed to change it, but then I wasn't sure which line was the centre line that I was using, so quite annoyingly had to figure out another way of doing it and like find a different colour. So actually it's much better if you put a little bit of tape on the sole, and it's just got to be a light tack tape like that. What are you looking for? For the what? Oh, it's there. Because obviously it can't sit still. That would be too easy. So let's prep the other boot as well. I don't even know what that plate is. Avanti? Is it white? No, it's metal. Yeah. Just like silver metal colour? Yes. It could be the Avanti aluminium plate. Just or a stock one. Okay. The Avanti aluminium's a really heavy plate. Oh yes, Emily. They're so light though. Yeah. Yeah, and drill shit and stuff like that. That all just goes together. I saw them. Oh no, Emily had them because she was weighing stuff. There you go. Everyone needs a scale when you try skates on. Of course they do. Okay, so next job. Ta-da! Let's get. So we've got our centerline marking tool, and this fits onto the heel, and then we do a little swizzle like this, so that the sides of the boot fit snugly like that. And then we just mark very gently on the sole of the boot, like I say, gently. And then I'm just going to double check that my centre line at the back actually goes down the centre of the back stay. Right. I like to use the centerline marking tool as a guideline. It's definitely not, it's not a science, like it's an art, not a science. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted because there are people in the shop, but I also really wanted to build this boot today because it's not that busy and I should be able to do it. Okay, so I think the thing to notice about the centerline is at the back on the heel, it is central to the heel. On the front, it's not central to the stitching. So the centerline is there, probably quite hard to see on camera. It's just very slightly off the middle stitching of the boot. And that is because usually one side, it looks worse than the other. Yeah, so this side, can you see it looks really off? It's not. The center line is actually central to the foot, like the foot of the person, the foot of the wearer. It's central to there, and it usually sits between the second and third toe. It's not central to the boot. What is a real anomaly, and it makes it harder for skate builders, is factory built boots will usually have the plate centered to the toe. I think the biggest one we've got is that antique in a 9.5. Yeah, it's a US 9.5 though. Yeah, it's like the toe box is quite wide. It's worth just shoving it on your foot just to see, and then we can get it in. Okay. Oh, there's people there. Hi, people. Just put me on in the background, and if one of you's Jamie, hi Jamie. Right, you know it. So I think I'm happy with this line, even though they don't look equal, because I'm gonna check it and line it up with the plate position when I get the plate out. So this person has chosen the Arius plate. Now, don't know how we say, no way. Stop it. Like Arius or Arius. Okay, we're having a minor Cinderella moment in the shop. Minor Cinderella moment in the shop. So when someone comes in for a skate fitting, we tend to enjoy it if people try on a couple of pairs of boots, because it just makes us feel more confident. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna move you to here because really this is not the smartest idea for me to build skates now, but there we go. Leighton, hello. Right. Ta-da! So we've got the Arius. What a delightful plate. This is one of the lightest. And I will point this out to you. The writing is only on one side. Okay. Sometimes the plates on the inside are marked up. So this one says there's an R on it. Maybe you can just see that down there. Yep. This tells you which boot to put it on, right or left. But also, if that isn't there, because it's not there on all plates, the writing goes to the outside edge. So this is the left boot. So if I was to put this plate, wait. Maybe that IR doesn't mean what it means because it goes this way around. It goes that way. The writing goes to the outside. Just so we know. I'm going to check the other plate now. Oh no, they both say IR. The pilot, I thought they brought it back. Check our listing. You might be right. They brought out green and blue, didn't they? No. Okay. They both say IR. So that's not true. Some of them do, they are marked up with a left and a right though. Okay. So this one, we're going to line these up so that we've got the same amount of space at the back and the front. This is what I would call a standard mount with this plate, although we've gone slightly shorter. So I'm now just going to mark this up on here. We've got 6 little holes. There we go. And then this is where I'm saying this is an art, not a science, because okay, so can you see I have drawn all over the sole, but now I'm checking that this corner is the same on both sides because we do need plate position to be symmetrical, and the line that was very slightly further out, I've moved the plates slightly further in, so it's compensated for that. It's really hard to see like through a screen, I think, without looking at your own 2 eyes, so I'm gonna not do that. Okay. What do you want? That one. I'll just put the skate tools here. It's all right. Okay. Now we're going to drill some holes. So let's sort out my drill. All right. So with a boot that I'm slightly anxious about because it's irreplaceable, I will pilot drill the position first because it makes me feel slightly less anxious. That's not good. All my drill bits have fallen out of that box. Useful. It's okay. I'm going to treat myself to a brand new 3mm. Okay, so 5mm, 3mm. Generally, you can get a 4.8mm drill bit, and the hole will be a very, very tight fit. I tend to use 5mm because it slides through just a little bit more easily, and you've got a tiny bit of wiggle room on the screw position, so you can actually adjust the screw so that the plate fits on. It doesn't move once it's on. So even if you were to use a 5.5, which is a bit too big, and the screw will drop through, it's still completely fine. And I tell you this because I have done this on my own skates, which are totally fine. Right, let's just have a quick drink of the tea before, it goes cold. Too late. Okay, let's go. Right. Some people I've seen will put they'll clamp the boot, they'll do something like that. I don't like doing it with suede because it marks the suede. Don't like it. So I'm going to clamp it in my knees. Show you what I mean. And the toe ones we're going to line up and go straight down. Straight down. Lovely. And straight down to the little holes. So there are 6 holes in the Arius plate. You actually only need 4 for secure mounting, but I'm still going to do all 6 because this is for a customer. There we go, lovely. And then we're going to go to the back. Now the back holes, so that we do not get in the lining, this is really important that we actually very slightly angle. There we go. We need to angle the rear screw. But only a tiny bit. Okay. So I don't know if you heard that little metal noise. That just means we've hit a staple on the inside. So we'll do the same on the other side. Hi team. Okay, let's go other boot. And again. We've got a round hole and a hole with a slot. So the slot one, I tend to go for the middle of the slot. Let's go back one, very slightly on an angle. And I'm just letting the drill do the work. The weight of the drill is pulling through. I'm not actually pushing. So we line it up straight first, and then we angle in just a fraction. There we go, lovely. It pulls out all this like debris. It's fine. We've just got to make room for the screw. So I've piloted my holes. And we're going to change this now. Treat ourselves to a new drill bit. Hurrah. So I prefer this little hand drill. There we go, because I find it lighter. It's much lighter than having a wired bit. And I also just, because of the angle, I like to have this. I find it easier to hold. So we're going to do heels first. Okay. If I was doing this slowly, let me do this slowly. Now, I'm going to check my hole positions. You see the heel looks like a smiley face. It's the little things. So I'm just checking that my holes look the same on both sides and that I'm happy to proceed with drilling bigger holes. Once the small holes are in, the pilot holes, you can also get your plate back and just put it over so that you can see all the holes are through. There we go. There we go. Lovely. It feels like a piece of crap. What is going on here? Not very sharp. It's brand new. Oh no, it's just me. Oh yeah, it's definitely just me. Yeah, that went straight through. Lovely. And heels. There we go. We just trust the process. In and out. And clearing the debris out of the hole. Hey, Atom Dog and Lisa are here. Thanks so much. Okay, can you see how there's quite a lot of debris? Okay, lovely. And then we're going to go again with the other boot. Now, this is a much slower process, I'm going to say on video, than if I was doing this without yours. And that's not because I feel like I'm performing, it's because I'm explaining what I'm doing, right? Okay. I also didn't always used to enjoy doing skate builds live because it looks like I'm being quite violent with the skate. And if you didn't know, this boot that I'm holding costs around £900. It's expensive. So if I make a mistake with this, I not have to wait about another 12 weeks. It's going to cost me about £900 to replace. So it's quite important that I get it right. But also, it means if when you're whacking it, people worry that you're like whacking something that's 900-ish quid. So it looks a bit strange. Okay. Next process. Yeah, Mel, you might as well take yourself off over there. Yeah. Go over there. You don't need to be here. Yeah, mate. Out. Yeah, close the door. Not in the cupboard. She gets a cozy warm room. Oh, it's all right for some. Right, this tool. So this is my countersink bit. And the reason we use this is just to make the screws fit more flush on the inside. It looks better and it gives a more comfortable fit. So, okay. Yes, I skated with Sam. So we're putting this into the hole. Pull, pull, pull. And this one is just gonna gouge out a little bit of the card. So Riedell use a cardboard inner sole. Where are you based, Atom? You based in the UK? Are you further away? Okay, now this hole, okay, I'll just show you the position of it. So this one on the outside, you know that I put this at a very slight angle. You see that's actually still quite straight, very little bit of an angle. On the inside, it goes here. Can you see? Maybe you can't see. Okay, bye. Have a great day. That told me everything I need to know. You included, right? You're all culpable. You're all culpable. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do... Okay, do this one here. Because I feel like I'm pretty... No problem. Sorry, this is my fault. I'm in the works. I'm going to go over a minute. Is that all right? All right. So I've gouged out some of the card. This is actually... Okay. It's not essential to do this step with a Riedell boot. It is more essential to do it with other brands like Weaver because the cardboard sole is much firmer. However, I still think it's important to add this step in. Like I say, you just get a much nicer fit. So here we've pushed on the cardboard a little bit and it's kind of flapped up at the side. Thanks, team. So I'm gonna, there we go. Okay, happy with that one. Let's go with the other one. So let's do this other side. So I don't know, probably can't see this, but here we go. We've got the screw from the drill bits. When you push it through, it makes like a bit of a tunnel. I'm really enjoying this cheer squad on YouTube today. Thanks, team. It's like people, yeah, there's like people are just taking up the mantle just one at a time. Let's not. We've currently got Danny C on doing all the cheering, much appreciated. Who's taken over from Atom. Okay, let's go with the heel ones. Okay. Really just very important to get these holes nice and flat. Like I say, it's a lot of work in the prep, but having built however many hundreds of pairs of skates now over the years, it's worth it. It just gives you a better finish. And that is why people ask me to build their skates as opposed to doing it themselves. Because I've obviously, when you build your own first pair, I think it's like tattooing or anything like that, you should do your own before you do someone else's. Because if it's unsuccessful, you're going to know about it. And I've done all my own skates since I started building them, mostly because I'm curious about the process and I just like learning how stuff works. Okay. There we go. Right. 5mm screwdriver. We're just going to clear out these holes a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, nice. That one's not okay. So we're going to just clear out that hole again. I don't have it written on there. It might be the 2nd. I can't remember. They might be around between Christmas and New Year. But they're not normally around on a weekend anyway. So if they are, they might be around for a couple of days, like Monday, Tuesday. I've got a feeling that they are. I think it's Roll Line who are taking like a full couple of weeks off. Okay, who's here? Realize. Okay, so these ones are all okay. See, again, this just looks violent, doesn't it? It looks like I'm stabbing a boot with a screwdriver, but really, again, it's about clearing this hole and making sure there's no little bits of cork or any other kind of wood, leather, anything else stuck in the hole, so that when we put the mounting screws in, it just goes through nice and smoothly. Now, this is my workspace. As you can see, it's not vast. So I'm going to move out of the way the things that I'm finished with now. So I've finished with my countersink bit. I have finished with my drill for now, and I'm actually just going to plug it in because I feel like we've got more skate builds that we're going to be doing. So I'll pop this over here. Let me find my charger. Here we go. Here we go. Let's plug you in. Lovely. Right, next step. I need a hammer. And I'm going to get out of the box the other bits that I need. Okay, I'm gonna let's move my laptop. That's not in a very clever place. Let's move you to up here. Okay, just so that when I inevitably push this box back because I need more room, it's not going to shove my laptop off the edge. Right, so now I'm just going to lay out. I'm going to lay out my pieces. Yeah, might still need that. So in the box now, I'm going to get out, move the plates over a little bit. So the next thing that I need is the mounting kit. Okay, so mounting screws on skate boots go from the inside to the outside. I'm going to put this through. So I'm just going to have a little tap. This is lining up the screw head in the hole, and it's just going to pop through like that. And again. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And the last one. Oh yeah, they got fishing times there. Oof, next. Just wielding boxes of skates around the shop today. Yeah. Yeah. I bet you're really delighted that I moved all those wheels there, aren't you? You're like, Mel, you're such a pain. Yeah. They're only ever going to get, like, it's a natural material. They're only ever going to get a stretch, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say I'm really delighted with the way these little screws have just slipped right into the hole. Sometimes deliberately chopped off my face that you can't see it. They come out at very weird angles, and I'm sad about it. But these are going through beautifully. I think it's actually, I do really enjoy building skates. And as the business grows, it's one of the things that I'm thinking, do I have to give this away? Because you know what they say in businesses, like as the things scale, as you get bigger. Okay, here we go. Here's where it's tricky. Let's go into this. Okay, beautiful. That one's gone through beautifully. This one. So we're just going to knock it out and give it another go. Let's go again. And that one. Okay. So I think I'm going to have to push this one into the lining a little bit to get it down. No, that's not having it. I think it is. What's it hitting? Okay, so I'm just using my. It's hitting into the lining. Okay, let's go all the way. So what I might end up doing, yeah, I think some of the sizes they aren't making in all of the colours just yet, are they? Come on. In the lining, in the lining. Okay, no. So what I'm going to have to do with this one is make this hole a little bit bigger, because the angle of it means I'm going to basically damage the lining if I try and drag it through the lining. Don't want to do that. I'm pulling out all the drill bits in my basket. Okay, that one. This one. Very slightly bigger, which means we've got to be a little bit careful that we do not go all the way into the lining, because it's very easy to keep pushing your drill bit through and chew up the lining of the boot, which I'm not about to do. So okay, can you hear? That's why it's because we've hit a screw. Let's go again. You are just not moving. It's a pain. This one. Okay, that's good. So we've cleared out a little bit more of that one. Let's have a. Okay, that's sliding through much more easily. So let's have another go. Where have I put my screw? Put it somewhere really safe on the floor. Here we go. That should now just slide through with a little casual tap. beautiful. Okay, so the issue was, I don't know if you heard the horrible noise. It had hit a staple on the inside of the boot, or a screw, which is essential for holding the boot together. But sometimes you have to put the plate, the mounting screws through that. So this is our right plate. So we want the right plate with the writing on the outside. Let's peel off the tape. The reason we use this low tack paper tape is so that it does not mark suede or leather or anything like that. It's joyful. All these little pieces off. And you see there's no marks on the sole. No lovely biro marks, which when you've got a shorter plate on, you do not want on your... Oh, there we go. Here we go. Ready. Ah, there we go. That was a very satisfying one. It went straight on. Holes are in the perfect position. I'm very happy about that.
Really good, yeah. Excited. Yeah, new skates.
Oh, thanks for coming down.
Oh, we will. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Thanks for coming down. So, congratulations. We have got one on. If only Emily was on commission. I'm joking. Soz me. Thanks for not being on commission. Thanks for just being a good egg and looking after us. Okay, next question. So you see how the bolt rather, is sticking up quite a lot. That is because we have to trim the bolts to fit. Okay, let's just keep going with this. Oh, I've got one that's refusing to turn. That is annoying. So the thing that I dislike about the Riedell bolts is that the bolt head has got this tiny little square kind of Allen key fixture, which is just no one's friend to tighten up. It's not an easy thing to use at all. And it means that as you're trying to tighten it up, the bolt head inside spins. That is not ideal. Right, I'm gonna have to just do a little pause and go and grab that tool. So just for a second, I'm gonna have to pop you on mute. Sorry. Okay, and we're back. Right, let's do the other one. So pop all of the tape off. Today's just going to be a day of mega skate builds because after this one we've got 2 more today. The plan is not to do them all necessarily today, but to be honest, once we've got the tools out and we're on a bit of a roll, we might as well. Okay. Oh, you know what I should do before I go any further is put this back on charge. There we go. Great. Okay, so yeah, pretty relatively straight. Can you see the end ones though? They go ever so slightly out. Not, you have to be a bit careful with this rear angle because the further out it goes, the inside, the screw head sits at this angle, which will obviously dig into someone's foot. Not ideal. So now it's about popping this on. So it should just all slide over onto the slots. Oh. Okay. Let's push this one back down. There we go. And then we put 5 on. Yeah, that's better. Yep. And then you see the hole lines up there. So if we now support these so they don't drop out. Lovely. Again, we need a washer on first and then the mounting nut because it's got these little crimps at the bottom. Hold in place. So Emily has just managed to support some roller derby skaters. One derby, one park. Into having their new custom setup, which we don't have all the parts for.
No.
Okay.
The pilot Falcon plates come from America.
You would need to be mic'd up if you want to be heard. Okay, so I will just parrot what you're saying, yeah, to 3 people that are just, they've got us on in the background. Appreciate you all. I mean, Emily's here. Even though you can't hear her because I've got a microphone on. So they've gone for roller derby setup and then the derby / park setup because the AR2 is that kind of hybrid boot, right? What plate did they go for? Oh, both of them went for, it's a popular plate. Very light, great plate. Pilot Falcon, solid choice. Same color, different colors?
Black.
Both black. Okay, cool. Yep. We are looking to get a few more of these in because they are, I think the word would be going like hotcakes. Yeah, so we need to restock because actually getting hold of the boot is pretty straightforward. The plate takes a bit more time and we actually don't want to be the limiting factor in people's skate builds. So when you're ordering a boot like this one, which is a custom boot, you do expect to wait. And I think a lot of people do expect that there's going to be a little bit of lead time between ordering their boot and actually receiving their boot, which we appreciate. We try to be really transparent about how long processes might take and what our capacity is and things like that. And obviously we are always trying to build in more capacity, but at the same time, if we had those plates in stock, we could be building those today or this week at least, if not today, because that would then be 5 skate builds today. So anyway, it's all good. We do have plates in stock. Yeah, scaling slowly. But yeah, please keep sending your beautiful friends, anyone else that you happen to know that requires skates to us, and we will scale faster. Keep watching the content, keep engaging with that content. You never know, Get the old YouTube watch time hours up. It's going to help us. So this tool and the socket at the bottom has allowed me to go as much as I can, and it's always going to take a couple of adjustments. It's going to tightenings to get the bolts as tight as possible. So I've got one hand on the inside, and that's not only to support the boot, it's also because I want to feel where that bolt is with my finger. And obviously fingers are generally pretty sensitive. So I can feel at the moment by stroking the inside of the boot with the fingers that how high these bolts are sticking up. And if they are up at all, it's not okay. They need to be squeezed down into the sole of the boot, because over time they will work themselves a little bit loose. Like if they're a little bit loose to start with, they will work themselves much looser. And it's not that you end up with a rattly plate, you just end up with this bolt stuck into your toe. And it's at the point, the pressure is right where you're leaning on it, and it's kind of under this part of your toes, like the ball of your foot, or it's just slightly in front on your toes. It doesn't feel good. Does not feel good. And again, with the heel bolts, if the angle on your heel bolts is too great, then you get one side of the bolt and that sticks in your foot, and that is grim. So again, we have to make sure the angle is not too great and that we really pull those bolts down into the sole of the boot. So that countersinking process that I did earlier is essential for that reason. Now this bolt is refusing, the mounting nut is refusing to go on. Why is this? It's either there might be some stuff in the way, a little bit of debris, which is what it looks like on this one. So if we end up with any stuff like stuck in the threads of the bolt, then it won't go on. Honestly, what I normally do is just get a new bolt because it's quicker. I may well do that today. Get out. Right, let's try one more time with this one. And if it refuses to go on, then we're just going to get a new bolt. Oh, there we go. So this is the mounting bolt, just went past a little bit of debris. There we go. So what I'm trying to do, my first tightening, is that we go as tight as we can for this socket. Then we have to cut all the bolts. If you don't like fire, look away now. Or sorry, in about 5-ish minutes when I've done all the tightening. And that's because we want to pull the bolts through to the same amount, so we know that the plate is evenly tightened. This is again something that I've had to learn, because if you don't do this, then you will end up potentially with a slightly wonky plate. And if the corners of the plate are not evenly tightened, the plate will sit just very slightly off. And that means you might end up with one of the wheels not on the ground. That is not good for precision. So as a skater, you need to have all of your wheels on the ground as an ordinary standing of the boot. So that when you choose to not have all the wheels on the ground, you know exactly what's happening with your boot. Therefore, we have to pull all the bolts through the same amount at first. Okay, so I'm put the boots in the box just for safekeeping. And like I say, I like to keep a fairly tidy workspace. Just makes things easier. So I'm now finished with my screwdriver. Let's pop that away. Finished with a hammer. This bit of tape's come off the sole. And I'm going to put my drill bits back over here. So the next process is the chopping of the bolts. And I actually need my extension cord. Let's put these things out of the way. Okay. Ooh, water. Yeah, we should probably drink more water, shouldn't we? I don't know if that's on anyone's resolution list. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, but we should all drink more water. So let's do that. Okay, next we need safety glasses. Hang on a sec. Just grab a pair of scissors and we'll just cut a wee bit of this box, I think. Okay. All right, so I've cut a little bit of the Arius box because it's a good thickness, this card. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm doing and then I will do it. So I've got my electric rotary cutter Dremel. This is wired. I've had a wireless one and it's not as powerful, so I've gone for a wired one. This is the wireless one and it's got a sanding screw head on it. And then show you on my table what's going on here. So I've got a little bit of my roller card. This is where I will put the rotary cutter down. And I'm actually going to get, this is where we use all the things that were in the box. So this was what the plate was wrapped in. And because the boot is suede, we're just going to put this on the countertop because again, it's a softer surface. If I didn't have this, I'd probably just use a tea towel. Let's move the box back a little bit more. And then this piece of card is going to sit here. And this is to go underneath the screws. So as you're cutting, if the Dremel slips for any reason, which it happens with less than a second, and it will then just cut into the plate and it will mark the plate. And that, it's not the end of the world, it's cosmetic, but it annoys me, and I think it would annoy me if I was the customer. So very easy to solve. We just get a thin bit of card and pop it here. Now the distance between all these screws and the plate is different for all boots and all plates. Sorry, all plates, not all boots. So I'm going to hold this in place because I've done it a lot. But when I was learning, I would tape this bit of card down, which obviously is another step. But as long as you're okay to hold it in place and it won't slip and it won't mark the boot, then it's fine. The other thing that I need for this step is this. So this is a bolt breaker and it just saves time because it means when you're cutting the bolts off, you do not have to cut all the way through. Right, if you don't like sparks, look away now. Okay, the sparks are not hot, but they are sharp. So obviously, safety is sexy. We have to wear the safety goggles. Very important. Lovely. Oh, right. I always change my mind about how I do this, but some days I like to do just one boot completely first and then I'll do the other one. So today I'm going to do that. I'll do one boot. So my bolt breaker just goes on, snap off the bolt. And again, I was making sure that I pull the bolts through the same amount. Same with chopping them. I want to make sure I cut them about the same amount. I like to have just a couple of turns of the bolt head thread showing. That's quite a close up there. I don't want it completely flush with the mounting screw, but I tend to make the first cut quite close because I know I'm going to tighten it some more and that should pull a little bit through. But when it's fully pulled through, if I have to make small cuts, then that's fine. So I'm going to do the other boot first and then we'll come back and tighten all of the bolts. Okay. And then we'll turn that boot over and do the other side. Okay, there we go. And again, let's snap off these little bolts. It's totally like snapping off a ring pull. Really, really satisfying. Oh, look at that. I've been yapping on for an hour. So yeah, I was saying that this process would be quicker if I was not live, but the explanation of what I do always takes a little bit longer than just doing it. Out you go. Right, the bolt's got stuck in this end. You just have to tap it out. Come on. Let's go. There we go. If you ever get stuck with a bolt breaker, my top tip for this is you tap metal on metal. So I just tapped it with a metal bit of escape tool and it just popped straight out. It's something to do with the resonance. I don't know. Anyway, right. So now we're going to just tighten up the bolts again. Second time through. I will say as well, be careful not to touch the inside of the bolt straight away, or in fact the outside, because they get hot. And that's not enjoyable. So it's obviously, you can see I am, it's more effort now. That's my effort voice. So yeah, important to make sure that I'm pressing against the plate. I might actually have to crank out the other skate tool. Ooh, got the Von Merlin wheels on as well. Exciting times. So normally it takes the heel bolt more, like I have to screw it down more than the toes. And again, this is the reason that we get rid of the cardboard, the extra cardboard that was like making a little funnel when you put the first drill through with that countersink bit, because it just makes the pulling through of that screw easier. If the cardboard gets in the way with it's like crushed in place, the screw will never go flat. So it's quite important to do. Okay, let's do that. Nearly there. So this looks like I'm going to have to trim the heel bolts, but I think the toe ones might be okay. Or I might have to do some trimming. The problem when you do the second cut is you can't use a bolt breaker because there's not enough thread. There's not enough thread on the outside to capture it. But I want all my screw heads showing to be even, which is annoying for me because it's just one of those things, and they're currently not. So you probably can just see there's like a little bit, you might not be able to see it, There's a bit sticking up on the front bit from where it's been snapped off. The heel ones are bigger and they're not even. So they are going to be trimmed again, but I'm going to tighten the other bolt boot first. I don't want to jinx it, but so far this is going on a treat. Okay, that's fine. It's definitely not fine. So we'll keep screwing this one on. Ooh. This is a weird pop choice. Is this Millie? Put on a different. Oh, is it dropping now? Oh, okay. So I want to get these bolts trimmed really before people start coming for the drop-in session. I say people, possibly just the one person that's booked on. Oh, 2 people are booked on. Okay. Okay, let's screw these toe ones in. All right, so I'm going to probably stop yakking for a bit and just get these on. Okay. Right, so feeling through in the toe, I feel quite happy about those. No point in showing you because you can't see anything. That heel one still feels a tiny bit raised. Okay. Yep, that's better. So again, worth spending time just getting these right now, because it's much easier to just make one cut than having to chop it, screw it again, chop it, because every time you cut them when the bolts are this short, you've got to cut all the way through the bolt, which just takes a little bit longer. Okay, so let's go again. I can see that on some of these, I'm not actually going to need to make any trims at the toe. So that's great. That's exactly what I wanted. But the heel now just needs to match the toe. So let's do that one. Okay, lovely. And again. You've got to be careful of those flying bits of bolt as well when you cut all the way through. Okay, so we're going to do the same on this one. Fine on that side, same on the other side. Lovely. Okay, I feel okay with that. Right. Maybe this one. Okay, so now these toe ones, annoyingly, they're at the tiniest amount that needs to come off. Basically just grinding away the end. Okay. Final step. is to use the handheld one. This one goes a little bit slower. Doesn't make the fire. Needs a new head soon, actually. Just take those sharp edges off. Is an essential step. Otherwise, your bolts might cut somebody. It's not good. You know someone's going to walk in now that they're both occupied. Right, same again. Lovely. Okay. Then we get our paintbrush and we're just going to flick off all of that dust. A paintbrush is also a clean paintbrush that has never been used for anything else. Is also great for the suede and making sure that you knock off any little bits of dust without damaging the suede. You can't use anything stiffer, it will mark the suede. Okay, so we're now going to put in our inner soles. Oh, in you go, beautiful. And the boot is now really going to start taking shape. So the last thing we're going to do is assemble the rest of the plate. Now this plate, the Arius plate, when you have a moment like, did I actually put this on the right way around? Yes, I did. It's fine. Okay, just as we say, we'll tidy up as we go. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. We've got people coming in. Let me also move my drill bits box and maybe the laptop. Let's move that somewhere else. Good stuff. Oh, this is a very pleasing array of colours. Hello. Yes, delightful. Okay, so let's finish now. I don't think he's told us which cushions to use, but it's fine because he gets them all anyway. But for the purposes of matchy-matchy, which is obviously what we enjoy the most, we're going to use the white cushions. I think they're also on the softer side. Now, as you can see, these look like no other cushions on any other plate because they're not like that. So he's going to get those in his box. He's going to get the Arius information, and we need the rest of the plate stuff. Not that, not that. Okay. Have you got that Allen key? Did you put it away somewhere? I'm sure I've got another one. Oh, my leg. Oh, yes, good, thanks. I like a long-handled Allen key. Oh, yeah. Okay, so normally I would tidy up more than this in between each step, but I feel I'm being very slightly rushed now. So we're going to pull out our trucks, which again, these don't look like any other kind of truck. Powerline completely reinvented plate design for the Arius plate, so it is engineered in a completely different way. We're going to take the butterfly cushions and we push them in, and each plate has two cushions. There's like a flat side and a curved side. It's really quite difficult to see, but you'd be able to feel them. So we have the flat sides together. Okay. These are called butterfly split cushions, and they are really, really easy to install. As you can see, I'm just literally pushing them into place. Because they're split as well, it means you can really finely tune the level of reaction that you want from your cushion. You can change the colors on one side and the other so that you get that feeling. I honestly think that most people can't tell. You have to have an insane amount of experience to really be able to feel that level of precision. And I think most people, you just wouldn't know. And that's not a slight on anybody. It's just you have to have like so much experience to really feel, and probably change nothing else on your kit. So then the other thing that we do is we're going to put this little spacer. One, that's it. It just goes one on the bottom, one on the top. And then the whole unit, that's the complete assembled truck, slides into this space. And the notch that's here slides into a little notch that holds it in place and allows the reaction. Then you take your, I'm going to call it a kingpin, but it's not really. It's the closest thing to a kingpin that this plate has. And that literally screws in. And there's no adjustment at all. A lot of people on their kingpins will adjust the kingpin tension to suit their skating. With the Arius plate, it's literally not like that. It is either on or off. It's tight or not tight. So there we go, that's it. I'm just going to tighten that down. Hi. There we go.
Yes.
It's all right, Em. And we're nearly there. So glad you were united with your skates. I cannot tell you how much stress we had.
Oh, no. I think they went to
They were, yeah, the wrong address.
Yay!
Yeah,
It's not that
Phew.
far away. I think, like, is it Shopify? Do you use Shopify?
No, we
You
have a
know when
Wix
you order
website.
something and you put the payment through and it automatically
Oh,
calculates?
yeah.
And so, but on my email it had my postal address.
Because we were just missing a bit of the
Yeah.
final bit of the
And
postcode.
it's on 2 Church Grove, and I think an LS18, and I think if it doesn't populate fully, maybe it just goes to the first number 2 LS18, and that's 2 Church Road LS18, which is the Force for Town Council office.
Sweating. We were sweating in winter. Yeah. So relieved that all's well that ends well, because we were like, right, we need to just get another pair of skates. We don't have another pair of skates. We're gonna just need to go back to our supplier. How long is that gonna take? So close to Christmas. So it was all fine. Whoop.
Yeah.
So she actually had to drive like an hour to her old house and found outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but the confirmation email I got had my address. So how it ended up there, I don't know.
I think it was the service that we used, because it was track 24, and I was like, Royal Mail are not going to get it there in this time. We use a different service. Royal Mail probably would have flagged it as the postcode was, yeah. because their systems are different. But because it was FedEx, I was like, well, they're a very trusted service. We're not. There are some that we would not be using their service.
But it wasn't,
No.
because it was some other thing parcel to go.
Oh yeah, but
So just
the service
FedEx
provider was
sub-
FedEx. Yeah.
They subcontract out to this other one.
Yeah. There's a lot of screen like overarching people.
Yeah.
That means you can select exactly who you want. So we can select through that service. We can use DPD, we can use Parcel Force Worldwide, and generally we use it when we're sending high value items or we're selling internationally, because you can get a better deal and it's insured for more.
Yeah.
And it's generally like timed delivery, so their systems can cope better with, though like logistically Royal Mail aren't necessarily set up to do that volume of parcels. They do letters very, very well, but when it gets over, because it's over 5 kilos because of the wheels, then it's Royal Mail's a lot less efficient.
Yeah.
They're not set up for it. It's not their fault, they just know what they do well. But
because I know
yeah.
someone who works at South Francis that texted me and said there's somebody there. Apparently this package might be there. And when I went to pick it up, she said she's pretty sure it was left outside.
Yeah, the person that I spoke to said the same thing. I've raised a complaint because I was like, that's not okay, that's not what we paid for. They said it had been signed for by somebody. Yeah.
In the run up to Christmas, they just
I think they've just, yeah.
anywhere and running off, aren't they? Anyway.
But that's not what we expect with that particular provider.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, thankfully, it was okay, because I was like, I'm going to drive there and find out where they are. And at least it's like, it's close enough that I can do that. But sometimes we've had stuff go, yeah, where all over the place or internationally. Like we just have to, it takes ages to follow up.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway. So yes, hurrah, that did not have to happen. Yes, you can just enjoy them.
So this is their first.
Oh,
I put them on and two was in the kitchen a little bit. But
do you want a hand lacing them up?
I might do. I mean, I can lace them, I don't want to lace them, but I've got the other bit of plastic in with them. Yeah, but I'm not, I don't know if I'm bothered about the toe guards. Can you line the stopper in more?
So this thing is a toe plug.
Okay.
I bought them in lockdown.
Oh, okay.
just
I thought they were
online.
in cars. I was just wondering if some of the skates always come with the stoppers already in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never played with any of it. Let me see.
So I'm gonna do it like that as well. But then if we need to, we can have a more. But
This is a very pleasing colourway. Very, very pleasing. There we
what are you gonna use them for?
go. Roller dance. Yes. Oh, yes, it's very nice. Very nice.
I need to get pads and things as well. Using my husband's and my teenagers' stinky pads. Skateboarding pads.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, that's very fair. Someone else's wrist guards and never yours.
So came with this. Yes. Those I don't know.
so people normally put them on for like prone to stuff in the front, so in order to do that sometimes skating outside, so
There we go. And then the last step is for the laces. We can always add them on later, can't we?
Yeah. And these, is there a special trick that I need to know about for changing these?
So with those, you'll need to put their rings into them, and then in the middle they've got magnetic spaces, which is what you want to line up. So you'll put one there and one on the top, and then one there and one on the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah, you can do that.
I thought these came with the lace thing, the lace bar. Do they not now?
About the same. So as you let go, it can a little bit more leeway that I can have.
Maybe they don't.
So you use that.
Yeah, so that one's the front, and then this one's for
Okay, I always find this easier if the skate is facing away from me.
no, like until like most people don't quite understand what to do with the things until they've been skating more because it gives you that more flex and you know touch some things when you
There we go.
Leave them well alone.
I like when I started skating I didn't touch my fingers
Yeah.
for a long time. So
You don't, yeah,
I have to adjust them straight away.
Yeah.
before I go.
you don't. You don't need to adjust anything.
But just give us a shout if anything feels weird or you want some adjustments.
Yeah, yeah.
And I shall come with a tool and have a fiddle. Thank you.
Whoa.
Exciting. New skates day.
Yes, very exciting. We like to move stuff around. I think we're about here. Do you want to do the other one? Thanks. It takes me so long. This is such a satisfying boot. So satisfying in colourway. Very much appreciate how they let us put the wheels on and I did not have to send it all down separately. It's something that I really struggle with is not being able to see the completed build. So there we go. This is the virgin lacing up of this boot. These laces as well definitely feel like different quality compared to like the Moxie laces. They just feel thicker. And there's less give in them. Like they're not waxed, so they're not, but then the holes are so tight, I don't think they need to be waxed. Okay, so there we go. Skates are now done. Hurrah. I'm pretty sure there's no services that will have boot drop-offs today, but I might be wrong. Yeah, I don't know. DPD might do weekends. No, DHL don't. And there are certain services that we shall not be sending these boots with. So they can, I would rather they went on Monday with a courier that we really, really trust. Yeah. There we go. And then the top part, because he's chosen hooks, not eyelets. So we're just going to do a little pop that away in there. And that is our finished boot. Ooh, very nice. We've got a 3200 boot with an Arius plate and Von Merlin wheels. That is somebody that's going to very much enjoy the dancy process with them. So this is going to have its final And a little brush. There we go. Sorted. And then it gets packaged up into the box. And we're going to ship it out to our customer. So there we go, all done. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I will see you on the next skate build.